In 2012, Benjamin Netanyahu stood on the floor of the UN General Assembly. He held a drawing of a bomb with a lit fuse. It was his way of convincing the world of the threat posed by Iran's nuclear program.
There it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb.
13 years later, Israeli warplanes are bombing Iran's nuclear sites, and Netanyahu is still trying hard to convince the world that Iran's imminent plans to produce nuclear weapons required a preemptive strike.
In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before. Steps to weaponize this enriched uranium.
US President Donald Trump, a staunch ally of Israel, has also appeared to break from his intelligence director on claims that Iran wasn't producing nuclear weapons.
Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having it.
Trump's assessment aligns with Netanyahu. Both men are on the same page about many things, but none more so than Iran.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple.
Was Tehran on the brink of having nuclear weapons, or did the US and Israel push the narrative to justify the attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities? According to US intelligence assessments, Iran initially started working on a weapons program more than 2 decades ago. However, back then it was still in the early stages of uranium enrichment, and the program was halted in 2003. After talks with the Obama administration in 2015, Tehran signed a landmark deal with the US and other world powers that severely limited its nuclear activity in return for sanctions relief. Iran was complying with the agreement, which limited its uranium enrichment at 3.67% and capped its stockpile of the fissile material at 300 kilograms. That is until Trump abandoned the deal in 2018 during his first term and reimposed sanctions on Iran. An angry Tehran responded by increasing its activity, developing and installing thousands of far more advanced centrifuges than it was using to produce highly enriched uranium. According to a recent International Atomic Energy Agency inspection, Iran has accumulated more than 400 kgs of uranium enriched to 60%. This level of enrichment far exceeds what is needed for civilian energy production and is close to weapons-grade material. Experts say that at 90% enrichment, those 400 kilograms would be weapons-grade enough for approximately 10 nuclear warheads. However, IAEA inspectors who frequently visited 2 main enrichment facilities at Natanz and Fordo found no evidence to suggest the Islamic regime was developing nuclear weapons.
I don't have any information that Iran is making a nuclear weapon, but I hear what they say and I ask questions. And secondly, what I would say is Iran is the only country that does not have a nuclear weapon that is enriching at 60%, and it's accumulating uranium enriched at 60%. It's a very high.
There are 2 types of nuclear programs, civilian and military. While civilian programs are focused solely on nuclear power plants to generate electricity, military programs aim to build nuclear warheads or atomic bombs. The Iranian regime has long denied any intention to develop a dirty bomb, but has continued to enrich uranium, claiming its nuclear program is exclusively civilian in nature.
ما به دنبال سلاح هسته‌ای نیستیم. این رهبر عزیز انقلاب ما از نظر اعتقادی فتوا داده. حتی اونایی که ادعا میکنن میخوان این کارو بکنن نمیتونن تو این کشور ما رو به طرف سلاح هسته‌ای ببرن.
As concerns grew over Tehran's nuclear program, most experts and Western intelligence agencies agreed that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. In March, US Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard tested before Congress that her assessment was that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. According to a CNN report, US intelligence assessments concluded that not only was Iran not actively pursuing a nuclear weapon, it was also up to 3 years away from being able to produce and deliver one. Another senior US official told CNN that Iran is about as close as you can get before building a nuclear weapon. And if Iran wanted one, they have all the things they need.
ما همچنان پرهیز خواهیم کرد که واقعا به سراغ بمب اتم بریم. البته ما آینده نمیدونیم چی میشه. ولی ما همچنان فتوای مقام معظم رهبری رو حفظ میکنیم و جلو میریم. باید ببینیم حوادث در آینده چطور میشه. ولی فعلا ما بنایی بر رفتن به سوی بمب اتم نداریم.
Experts say Tehran had for more than a year reached near zero breakout time, giving it the capacity to produce sufficient fissile material required for several nuclear bombs within days. However, it would still need to develop the technology to build weapons. The actual weaponization process is reportedly more challenging to accurately estimate. But experts say Iran would have taken months, possibly up to a year, to convert weapons-grade uranium to fit it with an explosive package and then actually be able to deliver it via a missile. Hence, many analysts believe there was no imminent threat of Iran acquiring a nuclear bomb. The Israeli Prime Minister not only wants to decimate Iran's nuclear program, he's even seeking a regime change in Tehran, saying killing Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei would end the conflict.
We can't have the world's most dangerous regime have the world's most dangerous weapons. We're protecting ourselves, but by doing so, we're protecting many others.
Some experts say Netanyahu's Iran claims mirror pre-Iraq war lies, and that any regime change in Iran would only cause chaos in the region. From 1982 to 2024, Netanyahu has been accused of consistently using the US to push for military action in the Middle East. The Israeli Prime Minister has been accused of openly urging America to launch wars and topple regimes. In 1982, Netanyahu claimed that if the Soviet Union and its proxy, the Palestine Liberation Organization, were to be removed, international terrorism would collapse. In 2002, while addressing the US Congress, he pushed for the removal of Saddam Hussein and advocated for a regime change in Iran. When asked if the US should strike other nations, he said yes, naming Iraq, Iran, and Libya. In 2024, Netanyahu once again called on the US to stand together with Israel to stop Iran's alleged march of conquest. Israel, which sees Iran as an existential threat, has done significant damage to the facility at Natanz, which houses centrifuges necessary to enrich uranium. 2 buildings housing manufacturing sites for centrifuge components for Iran's nuclear program were also destroyed at Karaj, just outside Tehran. 4 buildings were also damaged at the Isfahan nuclear site. But the secretive, heavily fortified enrichment site at Fordo has remained untouched for now. US intelligence officials believe that so far, Israel may have set back Iran's nuclear program by only a matter of months. Trump has repeatedly pledged that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, but Israel's lack of capability to damage Fordo without specific US weapons and aerial support has raised a key dilemma for Washington. The Trump administration recognizes that the only way Israel can eliminate Iran's nuclear program is with American military assistance. Israel needs the 13.6-ton GBU-57B US bombs, capable of damaging underground facilities, as well as the B-2 bombers that can carry them. Recent US military movements suggest that the US is realigning its forces in the region. On the 16th of June, the USS Nimitz carrier strike group was ordered to move to the Middle East without delay. Some of the refueling US aircraft were also moved further east on June 17th, suggesting extended range operations were underway.
Say it. When does your patience run out? It's already run out. That's why we're doing what we're doing. I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it.
Trump has neither denied nor confirmed that America will attack Iran. But even the possibility that he may draw the US into another entanglement in the Middle East has pitted the isolationist and hawkish wings of his Republican Party against one another. Israeli airstrikes on Iran's ballistic missile and nuclear sites have also raised concerns that it might force Tehran to do exactly what the US has been saying all along: pursue a nuclear weapon.
ملت ایران در مقابل جنگ تحمیلی محکم می‌ایسته، همچنانی که تا حالا ایستاده. در مقابل صلح تحمیلی محکم می‌ایسته. ملت ایران در مقابل تحمیل تسلیم هیچ کس نمیشه.
Some experts believe Iran is reeling, and it's uncertain whether Tehran has the capacity or expertise to do that anymore. It remains to be seen whether Iran will rush to acquire a dirty bomb, or the US will join Israel's campaign to decimate Tehran's nuclear program and get deeply embroiled in yet another Middle East conflict.